Hi, this is Carrie with Change Matrix, and I just made another video that I loaded, and I noticed that I had made this video about explaining past lives, and YouTube removed it for some unknown reason. I don't know why. This is just my theory on past lives. I don't know who I offended because there's a lot of videos about past lives. I don't know. Maybe I hit on something real and they didn't want people to know. Oh man, I think YouTube sometimes takes some things a little too seriously. There's videos that should be removed that they don't remove. Anyway, everything I say in all of my videos is my personal opinions. They're based on my life experience, what I've observed. I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know. Do any of us know? No, we don't. Oh, because someone else said something's true, that makes it true? Who knows? Who knows? Okay? So hopefully this video does not get taken down. Yeah, so here are my theories on past lives. And I'm going to start with my childhood. Now, when I was a kid, I was raised by a very crazy woman who was uber evangelical Protestant Christian, okay? They never talked about past lives because they don't believe in past lives. So nobody told me about past lives. But when I was little, I would have dreams that I would be out in the forest and there would be a campfire and there was a big oak tree and there was a big log that you could sit on that was by the fire. And I would see myself, I would see this old Native American medicine woman, and I would see her turning into a baby, turning into me. And then I would be sitting on this log next to her. And I knew that that was my past life, that in my past life, I was this Native American medicine woman. And her and I would have conversations. And I never told anyone about this because if I told my family, yeah, they're a little crazy. Yeah, so, you know, I just didn't tell anyone about this. But I had a knowing of past lives. And I felt like I was born into the hands of the enemy. And I really, in some ways, think I was. But that was my first kind of introduction to past lives. Oh, and when I was in 3rd grade, when we were learning about Thanksgiving, in the classroom, in the row behind me, I saw the spirits of a young Native American couple. And they spoke to me and they told me what really happened. And this is way before the truth came out about what really happened to the Native Americans, because we like to paint this pretty picture that, oh, they were just savages and, you know, we had to cleanse the earth of their paganistic, whatever ways. Anyways, yeah. Basically, we know the truth now that the Native Americans took pity on the Europeans that came here because they were dying, because they didn't know what plants were poisonous, what plants they could eat. They didn't know how to hunt the type of wildlife that was here. They didn't know how to prepare the food that grew here, right? And so a lot of them were getting sick and dying. And the Native Americans took pity on them and showed them what foods they could eat, how to hunt the animals, how to prepare the food, right? And in return, we deliberately gave them smallpox and killed them. You know, a lot of genocide. There's a lot of tribes that are no longer. We completely wiped out a lot of tribes. It's awful. Very barbaric. Who's the barbarians? The Europeans, not the Native Americans. Okay, anyway. So here are some of my theories. Most of my theories I think I formulated in my 20s. I'm 54 now. And throughout the years, I just get like a more concise and validation on the theories I've come up with. I'm not saying I'm correct, because who knows? Who knows? It's just something to contemplate, something to think about, right? If you understand quantum physics, you will understand what I'm talking about. All right, let's get into this. Okay, theory number 1. Our souls live on and on and on. And our souls don't always stay in the same family. And our souls don't always stay in the same race. Because I remember past lives where I've been Black, I've been Native American, I've been white, I've been French, I've been German, I've been Irish, I've been a man, I've been a woman, I've been an animal, you know, and you don't even always come back as a human being. Okay? So there's that. I also think if you understand quantum physics that everything is energy, your DNA is not just physical, your DNA is energy. Therefore, you inherit memories, you inherit talents, you inherit trauma, you inherit curses, you inherit blessings, you inherit certain aspects of your ancestors. All right, so there's theory number 2. Theory number 3 is that depending on your energy makeup, depending on when you were conceived, what energy was going on around your mom, how she was feeling, her ancestry, all the energies around the people around her, that gets absorbed into you, makes you. So it's not even just, energy that you inherit from your ancestors, but you're absorbing energy from the people that are around your mom. So it's that too. Now, you have a certain energy. This is now we're getting on to my theory number 4, is that in each place, in each physical place, whatever event has happened there, there's an imprint of that energy there. The more emotionally charged that energy is, the stronger the vibration of that event will be imprinted in that area. Like if there's a horrific mass murder somewhere, right? Slaughter. People are brutally like traumatized, brutally murdered, whatever. It's awful energy. That energy gets stuck in that location. Now, depending on your energy makeup, you will tap into certain things that have happened in that certain location. So you can have 10 people standing in one location and they all tap into a different event, a different part of history, because they have a different energy makeup, which allows them to connect to whatever energetic event happened there. So that's my 4th theory. That's why, when you walk into a place and it feels creepy, when you walk into a place and all of a sudden you're like, ugh, I just want to get out of here. Okay, this is getting on to my fifth theory. Is that demons, entities, things like that, they are manifestations to unresolved trauma. But there's also angels, right? So if you have an incredible experience, right, you have created this good energy. It becomes almost like its own entity, right? And important to connect to both, right? Because the beautiful events that happen in your life, that's energy you want to tap into, because that gives you strength. It gives you blessings. But your unresolved traumas, or if you're in an area where there's a lot of unresolved traumas, your energy can absorb some of that. That's why people are like, I want to get out of here quick, because they know intuitively that demonic energy or that negative energy can attach to them. And there's a lot of people out there that have demons or energy, this negative, unresolved trauma energy has attached to them. And it's not necessarily from anything that they have done in their life or experienced in their life. It could be that they went somewhere and for whatever reason, their energy makeup was somehow enough of a match that allowed that negative energy to that entity now to attach to them. Okay, so, and then also like good energy, blessings, like there are people like, I literally have an angel looking out for me, right? I think we all have our little guardian angel looking out for us. And I think that's our true higher self, right? So it's important to pay attention to these things and be aware. And also don't beat yourself up. If you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, it could be you have something attached to you. You could be doing everything right and just everything's going wrong. And now I'm learning astrocartography. Could be you're just not in a good location for your energy makeup. Maybe you need to move somewhere else, right? So that is like another theory of mine. Oh, I hear a cricket. That's good energy. So crickets, when you hear crickets, that's good energy. That means there's good energy around. That means there's a guardian angel looking out for you. Yeah, so these are my theories on past lives. Oh, I'll give you some examples. When I was 22, I went to England. I had a friend that lived in England, and we went to the Windsor Castle. And you can walk around inside the castle, and they have like the rooms roped off. You can walk through the hallway and look inside the rooms because the rooms are roped off. We were looking into the entertainment room, and all of a sudden, I was in the room, and I was back in time. I was sitting on the couch, back in time. I time traveled. And I was looking around going, oh my God, I'm really here. But I quickly remembered back in those days, be careful. Because if I was like, I just traveled from the future, I'm from the future, oh, they would have grabbed me and burned me at the stake, right? And that could be what was happening, is that people were time traveling back and they were like, in that era, the mentality, they weren't prepared for that. They were just like, no, you got some demonic stuff going on, right? So I literally time traveled. I literally was in that room for a few minutes. Sitting on the couch, I could see everyone, I could hear what they were saying. And I was in my head thinking, okay, just play it cool. And I'm like, I got to navigate this very carefully. And then they were like, oh, play something on the piano. They wanted me to play something on the piano, and I never got that good at playing the piano. I learned how to play Clair de Lune. I used to know how to play that. That's probably the only thing I know how to play on the piano. But I was like, oh shit, like, I haven't played the piano in a while. I only know this one song, and I'm not even that good at playing it. And I was thinking, oh, fuck, what do I do? And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking like, oh, what do I do? And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm back in my body in today's time. And, well, not today, but when I was there. And I looked at my friend, and I was like, did you see me disappear at all for a minute or a second or whatever? And she goes, what? I'm like, okay, I literally just time traveled. I was in this room. I saw everyone. Like, I could describe every person, what they were wearing, what they looked like. I'm like, this place is weird. I'm like, I definitely probably have some ancestry in a past life. I probably was part of these elite wealthy families that lived in this castle. On my grandma's side, I do have ancestry, British ancestry, and I think there is some royalty somewhere in there. Anyway, then later that day, we're going up one of the towers, like the watchtowers that the knights would go up, like the watchtowers. And as we were going up this stone, spiral staircase up this tower, I could hear the clanking of armor, metal armor, and I could feel the armor on me. And I was like, oh my God, I also was a soldier. Like I had definitely had 2 past lives in this place. And one, I was a woman, elite wealthy family, and one, I was a man, I was a soldier. I was like, wow. And on that same trip, I was in Nice, France, and I used to have dreams of being part of the French Revolution. And, but in those dreams, I was a woman. Anyways, I stayed at a youth hostel, and a bunch of us went to go have dinner at this restaurant. And when we were walking back, we walked past this alleyway, and all of a sudden in my mind's eye, I could see this kind of short French man during World War II or World War I running down this alleyway, and at the right, there was a shortcut. There was like a walking tunnel. That was a shortcut to where we were going. And I said to the group, I said, hey, I think there might be a shortcut down here. And it looked like it just dead-ended. And everybody that I was with, they're like, no, we don't want to walk all the way down there. It dead ends. We got to walk back. And this one girl I was with, she looked at me, and because she saw the same thing I saw, but she saw a woman running down. She looked at me and she said, I think there might be a shortcut at the end. She's all walk down with you. And so we said, okay, well, we'll walk down. If it's dead end, we'll walk back. We'll catch up with you guys. So as her and I are walking down this alleyway, I'm like, did you see what I saw? She's like, I don't know. Did you see a woman like running down? It seemed like during wartime, I saw a French woman running down, and to the right, there was this walk tunnel. I'm like, I saw the same thing, but I saw a man running down here. And we're like, whoa, this is a trip. And we're talking about it. We're like, this is kind of trippy. And when we got to the end, we looked at each other like, okay, here's the shining moment. We're going to look to the right and see if what we saw is here. And sure enough, we looked to the right. The tunnel looked exactly how we saw it. We're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I saw in my mind. And we're walking down this tunnel. We're like, this is a trip. Like, did we have a past life here? Or did we just tap into, like, there's that residual energy here, and we tapped into these beings that maybe they got killed and they're forever, their spirit is trapped, like constantly running down this walkway. I don't know. And so when we get out of this walk tunnel, right when we exit out, we see our whole group turning the corner, and they see us and they're like, oh, you guys knew that was there. And we're like, no, neither one of us have ever been to Nice, France. How would we know this was here? You know? So weird. Those are just some, I don't want to say unexplainable, because I think there's always a way to explain things. There's a reason for everything. And I think that anything is possible. Anything's possible. Maybe we just haven't figured out how to do it yet, right? Everything is explainable and everything is possible. We just may not have found the proven way to explain something, and we may not have found the way to do something yet. I like the word yet, because I think that we will always someday figure it all out. So that is my take on past lives and my theories on past lives, and you can take it or leave it. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. The possibilities are endless. And if you have some other theory, please leave it in the comment. If you've experienced anything like this, I would love for you to leave in the comment. I love hearing other people's stories about supernatural stuff like this. I just find it interesting, fascinating. So I hope you enjoyed this, and this is Carrie with Change Matrix.